I have very exciting news to share with you. Metricool, which is my social media scheduler analytics tool system of choice, they have released their content approval system. Now, content approvals are super important, really, no matter what you do. If you are posting on social media at all, it's super important. But particularly, I think my social media managers out there are going to be really excited. So, you know, that back and forth that you have with your clients where you create the content and then you want to get the content approved. And then sometimes there can be a delay. Your client might have a hard time accessing the material or figuring out exactly which date and time it's supposed to go out. This system will help you with that. But even if you're not a social media manager, if you're, let's say, just a small business owner who uses Metricool to schedule out your social media posts, well, if you have an intern or anybody else on the team who also creates social media posts, you can have them send it to for approval before it goes live. If you're an agency owner, this is huge as well. There's going to be lots of different hands in the Metricool account. So making sure that you have a way to approve the content for revisions and communicate back and forth about it is such a game changer. So let's head over to my computer and I'll show you exactly how it works. If you are new to Metricool, it's my favorite tool, like I said, for scheduling, for analytics, for really everything, and now content approvals too, which is exciting. The content approvals feature is actually only available on their advanced or enterprise level tiers. So if you use my link, my code Latasha, that will actually get you 30 days free on any of those premium plans. So definitely try it out for 30 days, see if you'll really use it. I think you will. I think you're gonna love it. It's a game changer. Thanks to Metricool for sponsoring today's video. All right, so we are going to log into our Metricool account and then we'll click on these three little lines here, our menu option. And we want to go into user management. So we'll click on that user management. Make sure you're in the right brand. By the way, I am in my personal brand, the Latasha James brand. So this isn't a client account or anything like that. So as you can see, I don't have anyone set up here. I manage all my own social media currently. So we will go ahead and click on add user. And this is how you'll add people. So if you have a client, I'll send this to my customer support email. We will just pretend that they're our client. So click on continue, and then we'll get a list of all of our different brands that we have loaded up here into this Metricool account. And I want to just give them access to my personal brand account. And they have these pre populated roles already. So you can give them client role access. You can give content creator access, analyst, editor, manager, like whatever level you feel like they are at. Analysts, which can view your analytics. A client can also view analytics, but also has the power to approve or reject posts. And our content creators can have editing access, so they can have access to the planner, schedule content, reply to messages, and create ad campaigns. Content creators, though, they need their content to be approved before being published. And then a manager has the same access as an editor and can also add or remove connections to the brand so they can load up the social channels if they need to, as well as grant or revoke access to other team members of a shared brand. So there's that defined for you. You can find this on Metricool's website if you want that breakdown. So we're going to give client access to this fake account here, and we'll click on save. And then you can choose if you want to send them a notification email or not. I highly recommend sending them a notification email because that will eliminate some back and forth on your end. We'll click on add user. Before we go into my inbox, let's go over to our calendar and I'll show you how it works from your end. So we'll go ahead and choose a time to schedule in the future. You can do that either just by clicking on the calendar or by clicking on create new post up here, whatever works for you. I like just clicking on the calendar. I'm a visual person. What can I say? And then, so go ahead and write your post. Happy New Year. Let's just say, let's leave it at that. We know there's a lot of other things you can do here in Metricool. You can add multimedia, you can add stock images, videos, emoji, URL generator. You can even get a text generator. Actually, maybe we'll do a little AI here, make our New Year's post a little bit more fun. Let's do creative. Let's see what they're going to give us. There we go. Look at how much better this is than just Happy New Year. Obviously, as I always say, for any AI generated stuff, you want to make sure you read through it, make sure it's appropriate for your brand, yada, yada, yada. From here, underneath save and schedule, instead of just clicking on that, you'll want to click this little down arrow here and you can click send to review. So this will allow my client to review it by choosing the user. So there we go. Hey, Latasha James. And we will say at least one reviewer must approve it to publish the post. So, in other words, when I go in as the client, I'm going to put my client hat on. If I reject it, then the post cannot go out. If I approve it, it will get automatically added to the calendar and will go out as scheduled. Now, if there were multiple users added as reviewers, I could decide whether or not every single person needed to approve or whether or not just one person. So, to put that into context, you could, for example, have client approval as well as manager approval. If you, let's say, worked at an agency or owned an agency, maybe your intern is sitting in my seat and they're getting approval from both you and the client. All right, so we are here from the client view. So you will be able to see your tasks in a couple of different ways. You can click on this little notification here in your menu. Or I also just heard my email ding. And so I got an email also saying, hey, you have a task to approve. So they will not miss it, hopefully. And you can always just let your clients know, hey, you're going to get an email. Stay tuned, blah, blah, blah. You can work this into your process, record a little video for them so they know how to do it, all those kinds of things. Anyway, we'll click on my tasks and there we go. So we've got the post here and, we see the date that it's scheduled for, the time, the post, the networks it's going out to, the brand it's under. And we can either just approve or reject it from right here. Or if we want to actually click on it, we can get a little preview of it, which I love. I love to see, I think it's really nice for your clients to be able to get this mock up kind of, because again, some of our clients are not social is not their first language. You know what I mean? That's why they hire us. So this is really nice because they'll actually be able to visualize it as opposed to having like a spreadsheet where it's like post copy, image, link, they'll actually be able to see the mock up of it here. So yeah, we can also click on view configuration and get a different view of it. And we can also add notes to it here. We could also instead just reject it and add the note there so that the original poster will get the notification and they can, do their thing. Or we could just reject it without a note and just say, nope, that's not very helpful. So I hope your clients will leave you a note so they could tell you what to change. But yeah, we'll just pretend that this is good and we will approve it. And now, if we go to our planner and we see it's there, it's scheduled. And because of client access, so client access does not give them the ability to like reschedule or anything like that. If they were like, hey, after they approved it and they wanted to make a change, they could always just come back to you and say, hey, this should actually go out on the 1st. My bad. So, yeah, exciting, right? All right, so what do you think? Let me know down in the comments if this is something that you plan to use. I can see a lot of use cases for it, and I am actually loving it already. It's such a game changer. Again, use my code Latasha at the link down below, and you'll get 30 days free on any of those premium plans. So you can go ahead and test it out for yourself. Thanks so much to Metricool for introducing this feature and for sponsoring today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.